guys remember Rainbow Six Vegas 2? You know, the actual decent and honestly the last good Rainbow Six game we got from Ubisoft before they became Ubisoft.
We've got to have money.
The game that I legitimately fell in love with guns from. I mean, there were so many firearms in it, well, not a lot compared to nowadays, and the very wide variety and selection, and of course the massive amounts of mods we have for many a video game, Fallout. But there is something about it that legitimately I can't help but admire it. It stood the test of time. There's still an active multiplayer community to this day, and even on PC there's still an active and dedicated fan base. For good reason. Terrorist hunt, the campaign, full list of customizations, full-on armor customizations, a lot of stuff that sadly is kind of been removed in modern shooters, as well as a actual legitimate grounded story, not the whatever the hell we got nowadays. But if there's one thing I will admit is that while you didn't have a lot of customization in Vegas 2, the guns actually were faithfully recreated, as well as close, honest details were presented. Be it the sound, be it the animation, be it, of course, the belt feds actually showing the belts themselves running out of ammo. There is legitimately actually something kind of endearing about it. Well, one subgun that I fell in love with, not because of Call of Duty, but because of Rainbow Six Vegas 2, and because I watched The Matrix Reloaded, it's the UMP-45. The UMP-45 in Vegas 2 actually is a pretty decent little submachine gun. And again, depending on the customizations you do, you either go bare bones basic of just a red dot and a suppressor, or you go with a high capacity magazine, but with, of course, a basic iron sights. Again, the customization is kind of lacking, of course, in Rainbow Six Vegas 2, unlike its contemporaries of the time. But the reason I brought up the UMP is because I actually got one finally. You see, I started looking around at the UMPs we have in Airsoft and realized they are a bit pricey. Even the AEGs are a bit pricey, and my last foray into the UMP, sadly, did not go very well, and I was very disappointed in it. Until Double Eagle came around, and then of course I got the Double Eagle and the Double Eagle parts from a trade, and then finally I decided to basically talk with a friend of mine, aka Wolfman, to basically do a trade for his Double Eagle because he didn't like it. So I happily took it. Brought it home, after running it of course at a game, and decided to basically try and replicate my loadout, or at least the way I have it set up in Rainbow Six Vegas 2. That being a simple red dot, foregrip, suppressor. Which is what I have now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you, of course, the Double Eagle M89. The actual affordable UMP-45 for the POORS. And believe me when I say that, it's not a joke. And this thing actually presents features that should have been on the more expensive UMP-45s, but yet was not. Full polymer, just like the real steel, metal only where it needs to be, much like the real steel, and of course, unlike the real steel sadly, and unlike the actual stock variant, the barrel is not threaded. That barrel comes with its particular special little cone flash hider, which is actually held on via a grub screw, or, you know, a screw, what have you, and even removing this, you don't have threads. Don't believe me? Let me remove it. See? No threads whatsoever. Sad to say. However, the actual muzzle cap itself is made of metal, so all you gotta do is take a torch to this thing and just burn off the paint. That's all you gotta do to make it not orange. And of course I do still have the original barrel here, unlike the barrel which has threads and a longer inner barrel. That was not used at the game, instead it was the original stock barrel here. But, getting ahead of myself, let's get back to the gun itself and talk about why this is actually a better option than whatever the hell we have on the market right now. Getting back to the UMP itself, the UMP right here actually is about as close as we're going to get to actually having an affordable UMP 45 replica. While it does not have the H&K trademarks or the markings themselves, it does still have essentially the fire selector, which again is fully ambidextrous. It is actually very nice. I do love this. But what you're wondering is the other thing. We'll get to that. But what I will say is that the magazine itself is a 450 high cap, and no joke, in one round I didn't have to reload, and it is a hell of a magazine, I'm not gonna lie. And of course the BBs go into that tray there. Now, as to whether or not this will work on an actual official Umarex product, I can't say for certain. But what I will say is that there's more to this gun itself. Now, moving around, of course, to the back, which we have the stock, your simple stock, which actually has these screws here. Don't know why for the cheek pad here. I don't get it. But coming around, we have the battery compartment here, which I wish this was a little bit more intuitive, because believe me, it's a pain. You're going to need a flathead or bigger nails like me, because I bite my nails. But you open it up in there, and you are connected to Dean's connectors, which again, very nice, very lovely, actually work out fairly well in their own right, and legitimately I was able to fit a T-Energy battery in here. However, if you have smaller batteries, smaller lipos, they will fit in there much more intuitively, but again, Dean's connectors, so you are good power-wise. And it does actually have a very good, simple chug, of course. Well, not really chug, but a simple, yeah. Now, we did not chrono this, sadly, so I can't tell you exactly what the FPS is, or the chrono or the joules are at the moment. But if you do your research, you'll actually find this is shooting CQB regular FPS. Even then, it's still a very fun, very nice little, yeah. But, again, that's not what you're here for. No, what you're here for is a certain aspect that was sadly lacking on the competition brand UMP 45 that sadly is only available on the more expensive Elite 45. The aspect of H&K guns, since the MP5, which this was trying to kill, but they basically were like, give us more MP5s, because I don't care if it's got the H&K bolt. I don't care if it has a bolt lock here for this and actually holds the bolt open, which reveals your hop-up, which is the simple slide hop-up. I don't care that I could do the AR-15 style bolt release on it. I do not care for that. No, what I care for is being able to literally pull that, insert that, and do that, and do the slap. The slap for which is so ingrained and iconic into our ability in a pop culture that we cannot do that. That it's actually to the point now where even H&K's manuals basically say, slap it. Slap that charging handle, slap it. Went on a tangent there, but yeah, no, basically, this little bad boy right here actually has a legitimately working charging handle. Fully metal charging handle. Not cheap pot metal from what I've seen, not zinc. Actual, legitimate, good. And the cool thing is that you can actually replace this via the screw there. So if you happen to break this, no worries, you can replace it with any of the charging handles you want for, say, your H&K prolific, whatever you want to call it, basically. But yeah, essentially, if you have HK, you got HK. You like HK. I like HK. Moving on. But I'm not going to say it's perfect, per se. It is $100. Well, I say that, depending on your sale, of course. You're looking at about $90.98 at Taiwan Gun, and only Taiwan Gun, to get a affordable 45 for the POORS. Now, granted, I know that's a bit much for many people, but it's a lot better than paying almost $200 for one that doesn't have the working charging handle, or almost $300 for one that has a charging handle that actually works. Because, of course, people are going to do that. People are going to do what they do. Companies going to do what they do. It's the vicious cycle of the economy.
Of course!
Basically. But I will get to the gripes of it after the gameplay, which, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get to the gameplay itself, shall we? Are we defending or are we getting?
Grab the canisters and put them in the group.
You put the lime in the coconut, you mix them both together. You died for a good cause. Hey, hey. Juice. Oh, hit! Ah, nice shot! Well, that was something.
I wish I had mine going.
Ah, don't worry, we'll figure it out when we get back up there.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Juice, I'm going to try and work my way up the right side and flank them.
Getting lit up at the end of Long John's.
Yeah, I got one guy over here. By bank. Well, excuse you! Oh, hey, by the way, trenches are off limits. Trenches are off limits because of the dogs. No, you good. I moved my way up. Whoa! Gun hit! Gun hit. You hit me on the stock. Ah, hit! Any lower to the right and you would have got me in the jewels. Now you good? Yeah, they're pushing up. I'm gonna try and work my way over to tool shed, or tool shop.
Water's still in that bank somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
Alex, he's still over there. I hadn't seen him move anywhere.
I'm in the building with the duck flag, looking around.
On the right hand, on the western side, across the creek.
Copy that.
Water. The Carter's down in the bank. Alex, straight at your 12, in the distance there. Yeah, right there, dude. If you look left a little bit more, there's the corner of the building over there. You see the spool on the back side of it. That's where I was getting shot at.
Yeah, I'm pine. There's a canister right ahead of us. Gonna clear clearing. Tool shop's clear.
Got two of them down, machine gun and other dudes in.
Ah, hit! Negative on anyone on the second floor.
No one on the second floor, copy.
Alright, I'm gonna try and work my way around the left over here. See if I can't get an angle. Oh, he's on our team. Alex to friendlies, there's a can in the open right there at the fence of hardware. I could use a little extra help. I'm gonna make a grab for it.
Hey, Jim. Go out the other door and he's right there in that doorway. He was there. His booty hat. Yeah.
Got a can!
Been long, John.
He is in the new building, right on the left side. Yeah!
Did you get that canister I dropped?
Yeah! Whoever just shot, that's exactly where he is.
He's now on the back side of the building.
The back side, can y'all cover me so I can try and flank him?
Can do.
Hey, be careful, he just to the firewood.
Kind of good juice I left on you.
Be
Jesus.
careful, he just creeped to the other corner of the building.
Yeah?
Copy, I saw flash. I saw shadows.
I can't move on that objective until that guy's down. Yeah, I've got one of the cans. Yeah, I've got one of the cans.
Jay Fresh, you still up?
Yeah, copy. I've seen him peek out the corner of the building there.
Can you cover me if I push him? Hold on, he's got backup now below him down there.
I'm good, I'm still in.
Copy, J-Fresh, still in there.
Hey, I just got him. Booney's down. Booney's down over there.
Got our backup going around behind the building, behind the bank there.
Please let me not run out of BBs.
I just crossed the road, Alex. I'm on the other side of you.
Copy, I'm still over here where my hidey hole.
I'm going for the objective. Ah, hit! Ah, damn it, walking! I'm back in. Be aware, we got a guy prone right there in the little alcove between Long John Silver's and Hardware. Damn. So, while yes, the gun did perform admirably in full auto, are there issues with it? Yes and no. Let's go ahead and get the yes out of the way. Yes, there are some issues in terms of battery compartment space. If you want to be able to do the iconic H&K slap, such as, well, that, you're going to want to get smaller batteries. If you do not want to do the iconic HK slap, that's fine. Just go with simple, normal size batteries that you put inside your buffer tubes or anything else. Not the long, massive stick batteries, just your simple candy bar size batteries, about oh yay big. But again, it all comes down to what you want, how you want it, and if you want it. Personally, I don't care if I can't do the HK slap. It's a night low thing for me to do. It's a little fidget, you know, one of those things. But it will also affect your ability to get to your hop up. So keep that in mind when you're choosing a battery size for this. Because if you can't adjust your hop up on the go, then yeah, that is kind of But in terms of rate of fire when full auto, it's not uncontrollable, but it's a little bit anemic, to say the least. Now, is it replicating the actual fire rate of a .45 caliber submachine gun? Yesn't? And nosn't. It's a personal taste type deal and a personal opinion type deal when it comes to .45 SMGs. Now, in terms of magazine compatibility, I cannot tell you definitively, because I don't have them with me, if the Double Eagle magazines will work in HK or the HK magazines will work in Double Eagle. I cannot tell you definitively. In terms of usability, you can use this, legitimately. If you are right-handed, left-handed, if you own an AR-15 or even a actual H&K firearm yourself, the controls are familiar, they are fully ambidextrous. It's going to work with you because you are familiar with a fully ambidextrous submachine gun or a rifle. It's H&K. There's not really a lot changed since the set-me rifles they made for Spain back in, say, the 60s. Or give or take. The other thing I know it's going to put people off is going to be that price tag. Just because it's $90, almost $100, does not mean it is a bad gun. It is full V3 gearbox, it is full V3 parts. Everything about this will work in other UMP 45s. If you want to HPA this sucker to make it a very light, very maneuverable little silent, well, gun, then yes, you can do that if you have the ability to do that. If you want to turn this into, like me, into something from your favorite video game franchises or movies, you can do that. Or if you're a cosplayer who needs something that's cheap for your cosplay, be it Call of Duty or Rainbow Six or any of the other tactical shooters, this is it. But I am stalling, because many of you are here for the final verdict. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the final verdict for the Double Eagle M89, the UMP 45 for the POORS, no more, no less than a 9 out of 10. A must-own. The reason it doesn't get my 10 out of 10 legendary rating is because of the parts themselves, and again, my own experience with other UMP 45s. My experiences may have soured or may have maybe a little bit biased towards certain things and aspects of it, but again, I may get over it with time. The big thing, though, is going to be the gearbox itself. Well, not really the gearbox, but the selector levels themselves. The selector gear teeth are made of more brittle metal, or at least not as good quality metal as other replicas. So please do keep that in mind when you're doing any sort of maintenance on it. Because the moment those selector teeth do break, you are not going to be able to render the gun safe, and it is going to basically shoot full auto all the time if you try anything with it. Again, this is a sad fact of the more affordable stuff is more of the inferior product. But again, if you do take care of it, and you do actually give it the proper maintenance it deserves, it's going to work for you. So, a little food for thought. But, either way though, I want to thank my buddy Jacob, aka Wolfman, who actually was able to allow me to have the ability to review this honestly really cool little UMP45, especially it being, honestly, an UMP45 that isn't going to cost anyone an arm and a leg at $200 to $300. And, yeah, if you want one yourself, there will be a link in the pinned comment to Taiwan Gun. They do not sponsor this channel nor this video. I just legitimately like Taiwan Gun and their actual policies and the fact of they're Polish. Or at least their distributing company is in Poland. So, yeah, do what you want with that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and if you want to help out with the content I produce, there are links down below to our affiliates, as well as, of course, the PayPal and Cash App, so that way you guys can either sponsor a review, or sponsor a media review, or anything in between. Now, outside of that, it is what it is. But, next time, ladies and gentlemen, I take a look at a magnifier from China, and decide whether or not this Chi-Com is actually worth it or not. Spoiler alert, it ain't worth it for real still. It's pretty decent for Airsoft. Wait to find out more. And if you guys have owned the Double Eagle M89, let me know in the comment section down below what your experiences with it have been. And as always, folks, I've been AirsoftAL, and I shall see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. Till next time, later.